Who says the hero must always stand at the center of the story? Forget holy swords and shining magic, because betrayal is often born in silence. Not a trusted ally, but the one who turns away. An abandoned partner, a cast-aside companion, someone deemed disposable. The world expects them to break. But from betrayal and pain, the most unforgettable stories are born. Get ready, because this lineup is full of shocking betrayals. Let's get started. Life for a normal schoolboy is shattered in an instant when a mysterious red man massacres his entire classroom, leaving him as the sole survivor. Ganta finds himself falsely accused of the atrocity and is sentenced to death in a twisted, privately run prison known as Deadman Wonderland. This bizarre theme park penitentiary forces inmates to perform lethal stunts for the public's amusement. Whilst fighting for survival in this macabre environment, he discovers he has developed a strange ability to manipulate his own blood as a deadly weapon. To clear his name and find the true killer, he must navigate a brutal underworld of deadmen, individuals with similar blood-based powers who are forced to fight each other in secret, gruesome matches. It is a dark, high-stakes struggle against a corrupt system that thrives on suffering. A relentless battle of survival, betrayal, and blood-soaked justice, where innocence means nothing, and power is born from pain. For years, Alec has served as a devoted court magician, specializing in support magic to keep his allies invincible on the battlefield. However, his ungrateful comrades fail to realize that their victories are only possible because of his constant buffs and protection. Viewing him as a parasite who cannot fight on his own, they unceremoniously banish him from the group. Free from the burden of carrying a weak and arrogant team, he decides to venture into the world alone. It is only then that the true extent of his power is revealed. Without having to constantly divert his mana to support others, his personal magical capabilities are nothing short of legendary. He begins a new journey, forming bonds with those who truly appreciate his talents, and proving that the most overlooked member of a party can often become the most formidable force of all. He leaves behind a life of silent service to forge a new path, where his brilliance is no longer a hidden shadow, but a blinding light. Summoned to a mystical realm due to an ancient contract involving his parents, Makoto expects a grand adventure as a chosen warrior. However, the world's goddess takes one look at him, and, disgusted by his appearance, she strips him of his title and casts him to the literal edge of the world. Abandoned in a wasteland, inhabited only by monsters and non-humans, he soon discovers that the harsh environment of this world grants him unfathomable physical and magical power. Uninterested in the goddess's prejudiced society, he decides to build his own community, where all species can coexist in peace. Along his journey, he subdues a legendary dragon and a giant black spider, both of whom transform into loyal companions to serve him. He shifts his focus from being a hero to becoming a successful merchant, though his overwhelming power often forces him into conflicts he would rather avoid. In a world where one's destiny is dictated by their assigned class, Ein is unfortunate enough to be branded an appraiser, a role widely regarded as utterly useless for combat. Because of this supposedly inferior skill, he is treated with disdain and eventually cast out by his fellow adventurers, left to fend for himself. However, he soon discovers that his appraisal ability is far from ordinary. By identifying the hidden potential in everything around him, he can enhance items and even his own physical capabilities to an extraordinary degree. What was once seen as a curse becomes his greatest weapon. He begins a journey to prove his worth, rising from the lowest rank to become an unstoppable force, demonstrating that true strength isn't about the class you're given, but how you choose to master it. It is a sophisticated tale of hidden potential being unleashed. Legends say that at the summit of the tower, anything one desires, wealth, power, or even revenge can be found. 25th Bomb is a young boy who has spent his entire life in darkness, with his only friend Rachel being his sole connection to the world. When Rachel suddenly leaves him to climb the tower in pursuit of seeing the stars, Bomb refuses to be left behind and enters the mysterious structure himself. As an irregular, someone who was not chosen but opened the gates by his own will, he must face a series of lethal tests on every floor. Along the way, he encounters strange allies and formidable enemies, all while discovering that the tower is a place where betrayal is common and the price of ambition is steep. His journey is no longer just about finding a girl, but about surviving a cruel world that tests his very soul. This is a hauntingly beautiful epic about the lengths one will go to for love, and the dark secrets hidden within the climb to the top. After single-handedly saving the world from the brink of destruction, Leo Demonheart finds himself in a rather peculiar predicament. He is too powerful for the very people he protected. Fearing his immense strength, the humans he saved have ostracized and exiled him. With nowhere else to go, and his reputation in tatters, he decides to seek employment with the very person he recently defeated, the Demon Queen, Echidna. Her army is in shambles, facing bankruptcy and internal disarray following their loss. He offers his expertise to rebuild the Demon King's forces, using his vast knowledge to fix their administrative and tactical failures. As he works behind the scenes to restore his former enemies to their former glory, the true reasons behind his shocking career change slowly come to light. This intriguing tale strips away the glamour of victory to reveal a man desperately seeking a new purpose in a world that no longer wants him. A fallen hero searching for purpose in a world that rejected him. Deep within the treacherous labyrinths where adventurers seek fame, Yuke acts as the brilliant strategic mind for a top-tier A-rank party. Yet, regardless of his tactical genius, he is constantly belittled and treated as a disposable asset by his arrogant comrades. Exhausted by the lack of respect and the toxic environment, he eventually chooses to walk away from the prestige of his position. Fate soon brings him back to a group of his former pupils, spirited young adventurers who have hit a wall in their progression. He takes them under his wing, utilizing his mastery of support magic and veteran experience to turn their struggling party into a formidable force. As they delve into the unexplored depths of the earth, his old teammates are forced to face the harsh reality of their own incompetence without him. It is an inspiring tale of mentorship and redemption that celebrates the quiet power of a true leader. An entire classroom is suddenly transported to a mystical realm to act as its legendary protectors. Among them is Hajime Nagumo, a boy who finds himself mocked for possessing only a mundane crafting ability while his peers gain godlike powers. During a frantic battle within a deep labyrinth, he is deliberately betrayed by a classmate and falls into a dark, bottomless pit. Left for dead in the abyss, he is forced to undergo a harrowing survival trial. By consuming the flesh of his enemies and using his transmutation skills to forge powerful mechanical weaponry, he discards his former weakness. He emerges as a cold, calculated survivor who cares little for being a hero. His only goal is to find a way back home, and with a rescued vampire princess by his side, he will tear down anyone, be they man or god, who dares to stand in his path. Driven by vengeance and unyielding resolve, Hajime begins a ruthless journey that will reshape the fate of the world itself. Lost is a healer who can only use a basic low-level spell, leading his party to believe he is a useless burden. Despite his tireless efforts to keep them safe, his teammates eventually lose patience and unceremoniously banish him from their ranks. However, what they fail to understand is that Lost has spent years refining his physical combat skills and mana efficiency to compensate for his limited magic. Soon after his exile, he crosses paths with a talented martial artist who recognizes his hidden potential. Together, they form a new team where his unique ability to heal, while simultaneously engaging in high-speed combat, makes him an unstoppable force. As he rises through the ranks of adventurers, his old party quickly discovers the devastating cost of discarding the one person who truly held them together. It is a gripping story of a man who transforms his perceived weakness into a strength that surpasses even the most elite warriors. In a world of perilous labyrinths and legendary treasures, Rude serves as the shield for the kingdom's most elite hero party. Boasting an incredible stamina stat of 9,999, he possesses the uncanny ability to shrug off the most devastating blows from monstrous foes. However, despite his flawless defense, the party's arrogant leader blames him for a failed raid and dismisses him, claiming his skills are stagnant and useless for high-level conquest. Undeterred by this rejection, he returns to his hometown to care for his beloved younger sister, only to discover that his supposedly useless skills have hidden effects he never fully understood. By combining his absolute defense with newfound offensive capabilities, he begins to clear dungeons at an unprecedented pace. He eventually forms his own loyal team, proving that a true hero isn't defined by their ego, but by the strength they use to protect others. When cast aside, a guardian's shield becomes his power.